LinkedIn.
He challenged me. He said, you should meet 2 or 3 people every day.
We're talking about how to level up on LinkedIn and engagement, being the go-giver, the idea that being open to opportunity.
We all deal with challenges, but how do you overcome that?
Master Connector with Steve Spiro and Cameron Toth is live on air.
Oh, man, I am so excited to get into this today with Daniel Gomez, my main man, Steve Spiro, the Master Connector. If you're fired up, get into the comments down below. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you told us before, we want to hear it again because we want you to network in the comments. This is the Master Connector Show, and we strongly believe the way you connect with people is by sharing and talking and definitely being in the comments. You can be a LinkedIn lurker or you can be LinkedIn engaged, and we definitely prefer you to be engaged, and we so appreciate you being a part of this show. Steve Spiro, my main man, get us started on this topic of making a millionaire mind.
Hey, what's going on, friend? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct here. And I got to say, one of my favorite authors in the entire world is Napoleon Hill, famous for Think and Grow Rich, Master Key to Riches. And he said this. He said, whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And the brain is a muscle, right? I'm working out a lot these days, every day, basically. And, I know that when the muscle is used, it grows. When it doesn't get used, it gets atrophied, right? And the same thing goes for your brain. If it's being exercised, it's being used, it's going to grow. But honestly, the brain, even though it can grow, it's priceless. What is its value? It's priceless. It's millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? It has unbelievable potential. And who we are and what we have, in my humble but accurate opinion, is a gift from God. But I've heard what we do with that gift is our gift back to him. And so today, I believe, is really going to inspire you in a major way. Daniel's incredible energy. He's got a heart, amazing heart. And so if you're ready to start to unlock that amazing potential, get ready, because it's gonna happen today. I believe in it. I'm believing for it, and hopefully you are as well. So if you're ready, I'm gonna have Cameron introduce my main man. I want you to type in ready the word #bring it. All right, #bring it. And we're gonna have Cameron in his amazing way. Cameron, man, I appreciate all that you do. I know you do an amazing job here behind the scenes. So I have you turn it over to you, sir.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw Daniel Gomez on the screen here. He is the man of the hour. Daniel Gomez is an award-winning keynote speaker, business coach, executive coach, corporate trainer, and podcast of the year recipient. Daniel speaks and coaches at events all over the world. His passion is to elevate businesses and entrepreneurs to achieve their true potential. Through their training and coaching programs, Daniel has empowered his clients to achieve epic success in their personal and professional lives. He's an international best-selling author. Daniel's book, The Makings of a Millionaire Mind, was published to give people the right approach, the right attitude, and the right heart in becoming a millionaire so they don't self-implode and self-destruct. Daniel's high energy and ability to unlock the untapped potential in people has made him a highly sought-out keynote speaker and corporate trainer for top organizations, including the U.S. Air Force. He and his wife, Mary Gomez, believe in giving back and supporting women whose lives have been impacted by breast cancer through their 501c3 nonprofit, the Mary Strong Foundation. Please welcome to the show a go-giver and a guru, Daniel Gomez.
Woo! Man, I'm pumped up. Man, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here with you two guys and with the LinkedIn audience on YouTube. We're going to bring the fire today. I'll tell you what, I ate some extra Wheaties today. I'm here to add value, to pour my heart into everybody here, because it's not about me. One thing I've learned as being a keynote speaker, it's all about the audience. The audience is the star of the show, Cameron. The audience is the star of the show, Steve. And I'm ready to bring it and add some value. So whatever questions you have in the audience, please drop them in the comments. and they're going to read them to me, but I want you to leave here. We have 30 minutes, but I know I can impact you with these 30 minutes we have, because we're going to be intentional about dropping bombs and dropping value into your heart and soul today.
I appreciate that. And we got Ann Thornley Brown. I look like Cameron Toe because I am Cameron Toe. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Ann. And then Malika Catrone in there typing in the bring it for us. So yeah, guys, be involved today. We want you to network in the comments. We definitely appreciate you here, community. Like Daniel says, ask those questions. We definitely want to get into it. And with that said, Steve, jump us into our first question here.
Daniel, listen, I gotta say, you are bringing the energy, you're bringing the passion, you're bringing the right heart, right? And you're 100% right. We are all about our community. We're all about giving back. We're all about paying it forward. And so I appreciate that perspective. And what I really try to do is find the right people to really bring to our amazing community. And you are smack right in the heart of that. So thank you for being here. We're honored to have you on here, sir, with us. But yeah, so we're all about stories on the show. All about stories, right? And of course, we could probably spend the full 30 minutes on your whole backstory, but we just want to hear a little piece of it, right? So I know that in your bio, you went out, originally was in the car sales industry and car sales. And, I mean, that has a reputation. Doesn't mean that that's what you lived your life by. But now, business coach, keynote speaker, podcast host. Tell us a little bit about that transition and that journey, if you could.
Well, you don't realize what you know until you don't know what you don't know, right? And what I mean about that is when I started off as a car salesman, I worked my way up, ran a Chevrolet dealership here in San Antonio. And to answer your question, I was blessed by God. I went to the right owner. Mr. Domingo Vada was the owner. He was our dealer principal at Vada Chevrolet here on the south side of San Antonio. And I really learned a lot about just character and business from this man. But I didn't realize that when I showed up at his dealership at 26 years old, that was going to be my training grounds in life. I was there almost 20 years in the automotive industry, and it really helped me to become the person that I am today. And the foundations every day, right? Even though I ran the dealership after a couple of years, that I wasn't egotistic, but I love to train. Every Monday I would do the sales training, even though I had 100 employees. It wasn't about me; it was about training them. And as I was training them, little did I know that was the training that I was doing to become the keynote speaker that I was today. Little did I know that I was going to these General Motors meetings with Chevrolet and Buick and all these other top executives, that God was putting me in bigger rooms to be comfortable in having conversations with multi-millionaires and billionaires and people that are more successful. But the most important thing that I realized is this is where most people mess up, Steve, is that they never developed a billionaire mind. They never developed a business mindset. And being around Domingo, being around all these people in business and Chevrolet, learning how to read financials, learning what my compensation percentage has to be, learning about marketing. I learned so much about business that when I came in 5 years ago, when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, that's where everything changed, because I knew in my heart that I had to honor my wife. She made a decision in 2017 to have a double mastectomy. And that's when everything changed. That's when it didn't care that I was making $250,000 in the automotive industry. I had to honor my wife. And I did think, I would be lying to you. I want to be totally transparent, that I didn't think about maybe I need to hire somebody to take care of my wife, because I don't want her to be by herself at the house going through this recovery for 6 months. But I realized that I had to man up. First of all, I had to be the leader of my home before I could lead these 100 employees. And most leaders today, they don't even know how to lead themselves, Steve. And I think that that's where the problem is because if we don't see those behaviors in business, if we don't see those behaviors in the people that are leading us and guiding us, then how do they expect us to just be in the same tune with them, right? To be in alignment with them. And when I made that decision to resign to take care of my wife, I had no idea what I was going to do. My intentions were to go back into the automotive industry in 2 or 3 months. I figured I'd be home and hang out with my wife, but little did I know that winter, my life was about to change, because the idea was dropped in my heart. It was dropped in my spirit to become a motivational keynote speaker. And this is the thing, Cameron, and this is the thing, Steve, is that when you get that idea, maybe for you it's something different. Maybe for you it's to be a baker. Maybe for you it's to open up your own practice in a law firm. Whatever it is, you don't believe it for yourself. But I was crazy enough to believe that I could be this motivational speaker. And the thing is that people laughed at me, Steve. And Steve, people laughed at my idea. People said, you know how many Mexican motivational speakers there are? I said, well, I don't know. They're like, exactly, Daniel, there's none. But I'll tell you what, I put my faith in God. 5 years later, I shared the stage with Les Brown. I shared the stage with John Maxwell here this past January. And we sold thousands and thousands and thousands of books. And from that point, then my business mindset really started kicking in. And little did I know that I knew so much about business. It sounds silly, right? But sometimes we don't realize because we're just performing every day. And so many of us out there in business right now, maybe you're working for a corporation, you don't think you bring that value. Because one thing that I realized, Stephen, is most people out there in the world, many, they undervalue who they are right now. They undervalue what they bring to the table. They undervalue themselves. And I just had this conversation the other day. Think about this. As a leader of an organization, right, that you're leading people, what gives you the right to devalue the people that you're serving? What gives you the right? Think about a baby, Stephen. Think about a baby. And then I'll pass the torch back to you. But think about a baby. A baby poops, cries, whines. They want to be carried. They don't do anything.
Right.
But yet, they're so valuable, are they not?
Sure.
So what makes a human being like us be any different?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we lose our value because of what people tell us.
Yeah.
Can't you do anything right? From the day we're born, all of a sudden we get to the age of about maybe 4 or 5. And then the dad and the mom that used to love and say, oh, you're so cute, Stephen, you're so cute. Now they say, hey, right, when you're a baby, you got slobber all over yourself. You got things, oh, you're so cute, right? And then all of a sudden one day they say, clean your mouth, you look like an animal. At 4 years old, 5 years old. And then we wonder why. You're like, well, I'm a 4-year-old. You haven't figured it out. You're 35. You're 40 years old. You're my mom. You're my dad. But we carry this same demeanor and attitude and leadership in these organizations and these businesses. And when I go in there, that's the shift. Your people are disengaged because you don't know. You forgot what it's like sometimes. And they're just human beings that have value.
Yeah. You dropped a lot of amazing nuggets. So thank you for that and opening up your heart there. You know, I mean, so many things I could reflect on. I mean, number one, you know, just what your wife went through and how you said, listen, I need to do something different to be there for my wife. And you're walking away from that, you know, really substantial income to make sure you're there for her. And so they did the kudos to you. And then following your heart. I'm sure it was a calling perhaps that you probably got, knowing you being a spiritual man like me. And probably it was a you know, inaudible voice, if you will, right? Your spirit speaking to you and saying, hey, I need to do this. I need to follow this. And I know that's how it's been for me. And, you know, being called for that. And then just what you spoke about in terms of programming, right? You know, it's so sad, but we see a lot of people growing up, and you know, one of my mentors, he's an amazing man, and his daughter, his oldest, is a little quiet. And when his family would say, "Oh, she's shy," he's like, "No, she's not shy. She's an observer," right? Because that programming of being shy would stick with her. And by the way, when she gets to speak, she's amazing. Yeah. She's not shy. Yeah. She is an observer, right? And we get these labels, right? Like, you know, oh, you know, stop eating, you're gonna be fat, right? And we just get programmed. And unfortunately, our brain is a product of, it's a computer, right? It's priceless, as we spoke about in the intro. It's there's no value. It's amazing the value of it, right? But how it's programmed and what are we doing to program it? And the good news, and we'll touch on it in the show here today, is we could reprogram that brain, right?
Yeah.
And I love what you were saying too, Daniel, about, you know, oh, there's no Mexican speakers, man. You know, those obstacles that we see as obstacles that when you turn around are such great opportunities.
Yep.
Oh man, it hit me and impacted me. I have a Mexican American home. My wife is from Mexico, and so, you know, it inspires me because I know some of the thoughts that my kids have, my wife has shared with me, you know, in terms of just looking out into the world and sort of seeing obstacles sometimes. And it really fires me up when somebody's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, right, is we take our life experiences, and it wouldn't be fair for Steve or you to put your experiences on me. And it wouldn't be fair for me or you, Cameron, to put our experiences on Steve, but we do that. You have somebody who really cares about your organization, who really cares about the business that they're working at. We'll just say automotive because that's what we kind of talked about, is that, and he's young and hungry and he's willing to learn. He's open-minded as to the other person that's closed-minded. They've been there for a long time, but they haven't chosen to invest in themselves to grow. But then we go with the person because of tenure. We use that word tenure in organization. Well, he's been here 5-10 years. He has more tenure. Who cares? I'd rather take a horse, a stallion, somebody whose heart is that devoted, has been there a year, 2 years, and train them and mold them the way I want to be, because they have untapped potential that they want to release. And if you have somebody who's been there longer and we choose them over tenure, over experience, to say, no, you don't need all that. Because when I started doing motivational speaking, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I was crazy enough just to start doing it. But then when my business mindset started kicking in, and then my confidence built up, next thing you know, that pillar of business from speaking turned into book publishing and all these other things. But it's because I was free to do what I wanted to do. So think about this. What belief do you have right now? Right in the Millionaire Mind, it talks about money for sure. It talks about money for sure. It does. But it talks about really your self-image, the labels that Steve said, right? How many labels have you put on top of your mind? Have you put on top of your mind that all of a sudden now you don't believe in yourself? Now you doubt every step you take. Now, because you had a failure, you're not doing it anymore. No, remove those labels, right? Steve referenced the labels. We did this conference, Steve, where we took a person and we literally bought like 1,000 labels and we put them all over this person. We put 1,000 labels and it looked funny, right? But it was to paint a picture. So I want you to get this visualization. Imagine a person right now with 1,000 labels of hello, right? And the label says not good enough, can't handle it, right? Didn't go to college, you're too young, you're too old, whatever that label is. And we started peeling off these labels. And ladies and gentlemen, there's some labels within inside your mind, within inside your belief system that you have to remove because you believe that old boss, or you believe, worse yet, I've heard this story over and over in my business coaching. You believe that counselor, and God bless their soul, because maybe they did it because they were hurting themselves, that says, Steve, you're not good enough to go to college. You're not college material. I've had many business owners and executives tell me that.
And sometimes it's labels, and sometimes it's life's crap that gets thrown at you, right? You know, I heard it. I saw it on stage. I didn't do it, but somebody did it. They asked somebody on out there, and they said, "Give me, it might have. I think it was $100 bill," and they took the guy and said, "Don't worry about it." And they took the $100 bill, and he crumpled it up, and then he threw it on the floor, and he stamped on it, and all sorts of. And then he took it in back of his hand and crumpled it up some more, and then he handed it back to the guy, and he said, "Let me ask you a question: is this $100 bill worth anything less what I just did to it?" No, still $100. And a lot of times, some of the things that happen to us, we let it affect who we think we are, and it's not the case. It's I believe in God. God made us to be amazing. He made us to be great. And so it's all within us and within inside us. And I know we can keep going on this, but I have a few questions I want to get to. So it's going to relate to this. So
let's do this. I'm having fun. Yeah. Thank you again.
Now I see behind you, so I had to add this question, right? So I want you to type in #think community, right? Our community, you're amazing, right? We participate. We don't just lurk. We don't just watch. We participate. So type in #think. And again, it's not about money, like you said, but listen, with money, really amazing people could do great things with money, right? Look at what, I know you could question him, but what Gates has done with toilets and vaccines and all that kind of stuff, right? So behind you, it says, a millionaire, you don't have to be a millionaire. You have to think, think like one first. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. It's right there. And I'm learning disabled.
Before you can become a millionaire, you must learn to think like one. For anybody that can't read, that's time behind Daniel. Yeah.
Let me get out of the way.
So tell us what that means to you, because obviously everyone have a different spin on that one.
Well, what happens is that, right? Before you can become a millionaire, you got to think like one. You have to enter into that vibration. You have to enter into that thought process. And what do I mean by that? Inside of all of us right now, every single one of us right now, we have a financial inner economy. We have a financial inner economy, and we have a financial set point of what we live by, and we don't realize it. What do I mean by that? We either have a poor-minded financial inner economy, or we have a millionaire-minded financial inner economy. And the question that I ask many people as I go into these small businesses and they're struggling and what are they doing, is I ask them, okay, great. Let me ask you this. What revenue do you want to generate? And this is the answer that many give, Steve, is they say this. They say, well, I just want to make $80,000 a year, okay, in revenue. I said, okay, great. Let me ask you this. Where did that number come from? And that number comes from, that's the salary they had at their old job. Somebody gave them a financial set point. They said, hey, Daniel, you're worth XYZ. Hey, Steve, you're worth $80,000 a year. And then we believe that is true. So we feel guilty. We want to ask for a raise, or we're scared to lose our job because we want security. Now we're out there being an entrepreneur, opening our own business, but the financial set point is still at the same point. And we wonder why 90% of businesses fail within the first year. Because when you think like a millionaire, you start to expand your thought process of what's possible for me. We always believe what's possible for everybody else, but what's possible for me? Write that down. Write that question down right now. Get out your pen and paper, and I want you to take some notes. What's possible for me? And the thing is this, is that when you really start to think like a millionaire, all limitations are self-imposed. So when you start thinking like a millionaire, you start changing your relationship with money. You start changing your belief systems about money, and you start seeing yourself not as that 9-to-5 employee. No, you start to see yourself as a business person, right? And most people, they don't do that. So the first 90%, within the first year, 90% are gone out of business.
Yeah. So true. Yeah, it's amazing perspective for sure. And by the way, you could type it out on a piece of paper, but put it in LinkedIn in the comments, right? And maybe if you have an answer already, put it in the comments. We want to see what you have to say. Again, it's important that we want to hear from you, right? Because your voice matters, right? I know you're getting amazing content today, but we want to hear from you. We want your contribution. We want your thought process. So along those lines, Daniel, so type in hashtag how, HOW, if you're ready for the next question. And we want to know, how do you recommend people can maximize their potential? How do you do that?
Well, first of all, you got to go get the book on Amazon.
There you go.
And then you got to go to the makings of a millionairemind.com. That's the makings of a millionairemind.com with an S, and get our course. It's an amazing course. But this is the thing. You maximize your potential. I'm going to give you 4 takeaways. I'm going to drop some value in you. I want you to ask yourself these 4 questions. What am I reading on a daily basis? What am I watching on a daily basis? What am I listening to on a daily basis? And what experiences am I having on a daily basis? Not what experiences, but what new experiences am I having? You see, because the subconscious mind, everybody write down this on your tab, 95, write down 95%. Write down 95%. 95% of what I do, of what everybody does, what Yolanda does, everybody does, Stephen, is done habitually. It's done autopilot. Your subconscious mind, these programs are running you. So 95% of what you do, you're not even aware of it. So the reason I say this is because what you need to do is you need to change what that subconscious mind is doing, because it's running you. So you have to be intentional, and intentional is be intentional about what you're reading every day. Be intentional about what you're watching every day. Be intentional about what you're listening to every day, and be intentional on giving yourself new experiences. Because we've all done this before. What do I mean? Well, let me give you an example. We can be going down the highway. For me, we'll be going down 151, and I'm so used to getting off on 410 on 151 because I go train at a corporation over there. And so many times I'm not even going over there, but my mind's already programmed. And because we're creatures of habit, I automatically want to get off at Interstate 410. It happens by itself. So when you change, this is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Why are those 4 things crucial? When you change the input, then the output changes. And the only way you're going to change the output is by the input that you're taking in on a daily basis.
Say garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. So when you come to our Makings of a Millionaire Mind Bootcamp live in San Antonio, November 18th and 19th here in San Antonio, we actually do live exercise. I mean, it's an intensive boot camp where we submerge in role playing and exercises. And people are like, I never knew this. I just spoke in Denver to over 300 business people, and men and women were crying because they never realized that they had the wrong belief system, because they haven't, you know why? They haven't given themselves the new experiences. I call this, and I don't mean to offend anybody if somebody works in Motel 6, but it's right. You got to give up that. I call it the Motel 6 mentality. You're never going to, right? Think about this. You're never going to meet the person you need to meet at Motel 6 if you're a high executive business coach or someone up there trying to really, right? Think about this. Would you rather save $250 to stay at Motel 6 and pay $69, $80 when you know if you paid that $350 a night or $600 a night over here at the Ritz-Carlton, that you're going to land a higher quality conversation? Not that they're better people, right? I'm not diminishing anybody at all, their value, but your conversations are a higher quality over here because they're going to talk about business, they're going to talk about success, and over here with that Motel 6 mentality, you're talking about football, the Cowboys and the Spurs, and who cares? You're not going to pay your bills. I used to be a big sports fanatic, but when I realized that I was wasting my time, wasting my money, wasting my valuable, right? We only get so many
they're
minutes.
making the millions of dollars, those
yes,
all the athletes.
I don't want to be on the sideline watching. I want to be in the playing field. I want to be making my right. I want to be making the money. I want to be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. You know, you had mentioned the fourth being new experiences. And kind of along those lines is also the power of association, right? Who you are surrounding yourself with, right? You know, because again, to me, it's all about your inputs, right? That's kind of what you were speaking about, right? Well, you know, the gates, right? The eye gate, the ear gate, right? Those are the things that are going to program your mind and give you the visual, the expectation of what you want your life to be. So it's good stuff. For sure.
Yeah, well, the thing about this, right? The conversations. I'm going to be going. I'll be in Nashville this next. I fly out Friday. We're staying at, I believe it's called the Joseph Luxury Hotel, and a night stay. I'm not ashamed. I'm not bragging, but I want to drive a point. To stay there was $600 an evening, $629 for one night. So for 2 days it was $1,500. But I know that I'm going to put myself in a much higher experience being at the Joseph Luxury Hotel than I would than staying at, just to say, a Marriott Courtyard or somewhere where I could stay around the corner. Why would I torture, right? I'm already investing, say, $600. So what's another $900 to give myself that new experience to really be, right? And this is the key. When you come to our live boot camp here on November 18th and 19th, we talk about this in depth because this is where most people blocks. We have 4 exercises that we do to break those limitations on you watching this at receiving at higher levels. Most people, Steve, Cameron, don't know how to receive at higher levels. And we teach you, we show you what to do to receive at multi-millionaire levels, because it's a different, right? Think about this. When I do my corporate trainings on leadership and team building, most associates can't receive a simple compliment, Steve. So if they can't even receive a genuine, sincere compliment, I do an exercise where we pair them up and they do an exercise. And men and women are crying because they say, I've never received a sincere compliment like that. Or they don't know how to receive it and they choke up. And it's really, if you can't receive a compliment, how can you receive $250,000? How can you receive $500,000? How can you receive $1 million? Somebody might be watching and say, Daniel, I don't want to be a millionaire. Well, great. But would it $100,000 to your bottom line help your business? Would it $250,000? Maybe you're not there at that capacity yet. I get it. I wasn't there because I got comfortable at $250,000. I gained weight. I got lazy because I thought $250,000 was a lot of money until my coach slapped me around and says, dude, you're cutting yourself short. And the moment I realized that, man, I can help more people. Now we help orphanages in Africa. Now we feed the homeless and the needy. Now we help our women with breast cancer through our nonprofit. But it took me, right, somebody to come in and really open my heart, open my mind to believe, Daniel, you have so much more inside of you, the potential you haven't even tapped into.
Yeah.
Being open to receiving. We talk about it a lot, with the Go River kind of thing.
Yeah, it was our last episode. We were speaking about the ability to be able to receive, whether it be receive gifts or compliments as well. Great stuff. So we want to kind of move on a little bit here in some of the things you've spoken about is stress. So we're talking about type in hashtag stress remover. And we want to know, in your opinion, the best way to remove stress from your life. Because we know that sometimes that could be a factor, or sometimes an excuse creator, right? Where people just, well, I can't because I'm stressed out, or, whatever. So talk to us a little bit about the best ways to remove stress from your life.
So I'm going to give you 4 things to do in the morning. First of all, don't look at your darn phone first thing in the morning. Whatever you do, when you roll out of bed, leave your phone where it is. As a matter of fact, the night before you go to bed, if you haven't developed a discipline yet, leave your phone by your toilet or over there in the other part of the bathroom in your bedroom. But leave your phone at least 15 minutes away from you, because what happens is you wake up, you look at the phone, right away you start responding to emails from work, and then you get stressed out right away because it's a heat case. Or you go to LinkedIn, or you go to Facebook, or wherever you social media is, and then you start comparing yourself. And that's the last thing you want to do first thing in the morning, because it causes stress. So don't check your phone, don't check your emails. Second thing that I do is I just wake up, and I do this every single morning, right? When I go to the bathroom, I tell myself I love myself. You have to tell yourself you love yourself, because how can you give love to somebody else? How can you give appreciation to other people if you've never given it to yourself? The pupils to a person's eyes are the gateways to their souls. And I want to challenge your audience right now to tomorrow morning, get in front of the mirror, get real close like this, and look into your own pupils and tell yourself, I love you. If your name is, if you're Yolanda, say, I love you, Yolanda. I believe in you, Yolanda. And then the third thing you want to do after that is you want to prayer, right? I spend about 45 minutes to an hour in prayer every morning. It helps to just really relieve the stress. It just puts me at peace. And when I come up with my time with God is vital to my day. If I don't have that, I'm usually stressed out. I'm usually edgy, to say. And I invest about 45 minutes every single day just in prayer time, meditation, reading God's word. And the last thing that I do is I work out. You don't have to do a 3-hour workout, even just walking, doing some type of physical workout. My trainer comes to my house 3 to 4 times a week, and we do a 30-minute workout intensive. But that relieves so much stress from the get-go that now I have the energy, right? I didn't tap into comparing myself to anybody else. I didn't look at my phone and get that email that came in late last night, and then I'm stressed out about something happening, because it throws you off. It throws you off your center. And tell yourself, I love you. I believe in you. Look into the pupils of your eyes and tell yourself that. Most people have never loved themselves. And then third, time in prayer, time in meditation, just really reflect and be grateful for what you have, and just really just let the peace of God just enter you. And then fourth, work out. And maybe you're like, Daniel, I can't work out. Well, you know what you can do? Maybe you have a physical ailment. If you take in 10 deep breaths every morning, and you hold that breath for 5 seconds. I mean, and when you do it where your chest hurts and you release it where your stomach pops out, you do 10 of those every morning, I guarantee you it's going to bring more oxygen into your body in case you can't walk, or in case you're limited by some handicap.
That's great. Listen, 100% agree with everything you said. I got to work on the phone part for sure. What I did is I removed and eliminated all of the red dots and all my sound and all my vibration to minimize the stress in my life. But I need to really take that into consideration and keep.
Yeah, because we wake up and we're creatures. Like I said, we're creatures of habit. We roll over. It's right there on our nightstand, or some of us even have it on our next to our pillow. And then it's like it's a bad email, and it throws you off. I know, because that was me when I was younger. Like
They also say that there's radio waves that are bad for you. There's also said the blue light is not good for your sleep patterns. There's all sorts of, besides what you're speaking about, other reasons why it shouldn't be by your side. But absolutely. Well, we're getting to the top of the half hour here. We're skipping a few questions, going right to the meat of it. So if you're ready, type in #elevate.
Elevate, baby. Let's go.
Elevating you. And so we want to hear from you, Daniel. I should close this out and bring us home. How do you elevate businesses and entrepreneurs to achieve their true potential?
It's easy. I help them do 2 things. There's 2 things that are huge that that over 90% of us, we don't value ourselves the way we should. We don't value ourselves the way we should. We undervalue who we are and the value we bring to the marketplace. And the second thing is many people out there, they have a poor self-image of themselves. So when I come and I work with you one-on-one, or when I come into your organization, I help you see the value in yourself. I help you see how much value your business brings. I help you see that a person of value is what the marketplace pays for. A business of value is what the marketplace pays for. So I really help you to see that value, because most people undervalue themselves, Steve. And then as you grow your self-image, you're never going to become, think about this, the worst thing that could happen is you have $1 million house, or you have $1 million business, and you're a $5,000 man or woman. Let me say it again. The worst thing that can happen is you have $1 million house or $1 million business, and you're a $5,000 man or woman, because it's not sustainable. You're going to crumble. You're going to self-implode, like I talked about. So the whole thing is to have more, like the great Jim Rome says, you have to become more. And most people never focus on their self-image. But when you grow your self-image, this is the big thing. It expands your capacity to handle and to do more. And then B, right, it really helps you to raise that financial set point. You have to have the self-image of a millionaire. If you never have the self-image of a millionaire, if you never have the self-image of a multimillionaire, you're never going to get there. So many of my clients, they're way more successful than I am. But the insight that I have, I see the struggles they go through, right? They work so hard to get to $1 million. And now they're scared because they still have that scarcity mindset deep down inside the reservoirs, that they stop doing the things that got them there. And now they start regressing instead of progressing, and they start disintegrating instead of being creative the way they were. So I've taken many businesses that were losing $1 million after a while to making and doubling to 2-3 million, because it's all about growing your self-image and really valuing yourself and saying, you know what, it is possible for me. And those are two main blocks that people are not aware of, or they don't know what the root cause of those things are, Steve.
That's amazing. Absolutely. 100%. Well, good stuff. So we definitely want to, so tell the best way, our community, the best way for them to reach you. You definitely need to reach out to Daniel for sure, and get his book and go to his website. And he's offering a complimentary discovery session. So take advantage of that. Thank you, Cameron, for putting that in the comments there, and grab that link and make sure you go ahead and take advantage of that. But tell us, Daniel, the best way for everyone to reach you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to put you can text me directly at 210-663-5954. That's 210-663-5954. I'll get my assistant to respond to this. We'll take care of you. I want to give you a complimentary discovery session, and it's my gift to you, because I love helping people. It's all about helping people. And you can go to our website, themakingsofamillionairemind.com. That's themakingsofamillionairemind.com. Send us a message through there, or you can email me directly at daniel@danielgomezspeaker.com. That's daniel@danielgomezspeaker.com. Or even better yet, to make it easier, since a big part of our audience is here on LinkedIn, drop me a direct message on LinkedIn. I want to serve you in some capacity. I can help your business. I can help your organization, because when you really think about the people that you're serving, that's what it's about, Stephen. And thank you so much, Cameron, for having me. And I want people to understand this. It's not where you start in life. It's where you finish. You may not be right now where you want to be in business, but you have to change for your business to change and grow. And so many people try to do it by themselves, or they try to get the free way out of it, right? Free only gets you so much. And at some point, what's helped me accelerate to where I'm at, right? In 2020, we doubled. In 2021, we doubled during COVID. And this year, we've already surpassed 2021 in revenue. And I say that as an inspiration to inspire people to know that when you have the right thought process, when you have the millionaire mind, it doesn't matter what the economy is, you're going to succeed.
That's great. I love it. And I think what you're talking about more than anything else, I mean, obviously, folks tune into this show, and we're hoping that they make the investment of time in listening to what needs to be said here, or what we have to say here, taking that investment of time to improve themselves. And I think they have gotten some good ROI from spending some time with us, with you here today, Daniel. And that's a big deal. And I think whether you talk about school, training, however you invest in yourself, a better hotel so you can be around folks that are more motivated. I talk about it with my kids all the time. You can go to this college over here, you can go to that college over there, but do you want to be in a place where the people are motivated, where they've worked hard to get to that spot? And so you're in rarefied air. And you hit so many topics and themes today that I think people could, we could spend a day on, right? Just in terms of trying to shape and motivate our minds around those pieces. And it's very exciting. And we know that people, if they just take a little bit of this, they're going to go out and crush it. And that's how we send people out every week. So
absolutely. Yes, sir. We're going to end the show here. Just want to say, again, Daniel, we appreciate you. We know that you brought incredible value here, and we're about uplifting, inspiring, and being the light. And you've helped us, carry that torch. And I know you're carrying the torch in your own way, and we appreciate you. That's why we wanted to have you on here. So, but we're going to end the show in a usual manner. Cameron, I think you have a couple things, right? We want to recognize our sponsors, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. Sales Connector with Wes Lemos, and the Blaze Your Own Trail with
Jordan
Doza. Yes, sir. And so make sure to go to masterconnector.show, and you can get the links there. And you can also see future episodes. We post them up there, so you can register for the next. I think we have next 5 or 6 up there for you to register for. It's amazing. And speaking of the next episode, who do we got next week there, Cameron?
Yeah, absolutely. So go into the comments right there. You can click on, you can register right now. Next week, episode 88, mindset freedom, right? Continuing on this beautiful topic of freeing your mind, training your mind. Scott, Aaron, get in there, register for next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Daniel, man, this was awesome. We're going to end it the way that we always end our shows. We count down from 5. We throw our fists up because we are going to go out this week and crush it. So here we go.
Ready? 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Crush
it! Whoa, baby, let's go!
That was amazing. Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate it. Audience, you make this what it is. You make it amazing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next week.
He challenged me. He said, you should meet 2 or 3 people every day.
We're talking about how to level up on LinkedIn and engagement, being the go-giver, the idea that being open to opportunity.
We all deal with challenges, but how do you overcome that?
Master Connector with Steve Spiro and Cameron Toth is live on air.